Hi everyone, we're Em and Liv, and we're your Meta Psyckicks. What we're doing today is we're talking about manifestation. So this is how you're going to reach all of your goals, and we'll tell you exactly how that goes. So first we're going to define what manifestation is.
Thank you. So manifestation is defined by Oxford Dictionary as an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. And I find it hilarious that it is saying that a manifestation is a theory or abstract idea.
Because everything is theories.
We've been over this, I know, but I just think it's funny that it's like they're using the word in the phrase without using it in the phrase. Abstract idea, thought, or theory. That is what manifestation is.
They might as well just use the word manifestation in the definition.
Yep, it'd be a lot easier.
Would it, though? It literally defines nothing and everything.
At the same time, exactly.
Yeah. Confusing.
Yeah. On the other hand, so you have the word manifestation, but then you also have the word manifesto, which is super fun. That's what my mom should name her horse. Manifesto. Yes.
It's kind of overdone, though.
It's so cute, though. Because you can call him Manny.
Oh, it was so cute.
Yeah. All right. So a manifesto is a published declaration of the intentions, motives, or views of the issuer, which is us, be it an individual, group, or political party, not yet, or government, also not yet. We will take over the world, but not now. A manifesto usually accepts a previously published opinion, in this case, it's going to be manifestation, with a new idea for carrying out changes and the author believes should be made. Yeah, so we're going to tell you what manifestation is. That is the already accepted idea, and then we're going to just trot all over it. So this is our manifestation manifesto. You're welcome.
The corniest of corn.
Yep. Ugh, if I'm corn, can I be the pretty corn that has colors in it?
Is that corn edible?
I don't know. Native Americans ate it.
Eat that?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that like maize? Is that what it's called?
Well, I mean, maize is corn. That's just the OG
but
name
I was
for
just
it.
hoping that it'll look different.
Well, I mean, we made corn to be different, but you really wanted to have me talk about corn because I could talk about the genetics of corn. I could talk about the history of corn. I could talk about the cultivation of corn. I could talk about GMO corn.
Bananas.
Guys, this is our second attempt at this podcast, and it's not going very well. We did 24 minutes of random rambling, and it's mostly me, and I'm doing it again.
It's because you're nervous rambling. Nervous rambling. We'll put that on a t-shirt, too.
Yeah. Oh, we had something else that was really good that we should put on a t-shirt.
I've been writing them down. Don't worry.
Oh, well, one of them is in the first 24 minutes of this episode. I'm sorry, guys. This episode is just going to be a whirlwind. I'm just telling you right now. I'm going to leave that part in there. It's put it at the beginning. PSA. Okay, so we need to talk about that. A lot of people think that manifestation is magic. Some people spell it M-A-G-I-C, and then other people that actually know what they're doing, or maybe know what they're doing, spell it M-A-G-I-C-K or K.
The first one without the K is illusions that people do.
You're so smart! I learned that too, and I forgot.
The K is like actual witchcraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm glad that you learned that. I'm
Guys,
just telling you the difference.
This is my best friend. She's so smart.
I just know the difference.
I did it, and then I forgot about it, and I'm so glad you're putting it in the podcast again, because that's something important.
Well, yeah.
I'm in charge of writing things, and I should not be. All right, so we need to talk about how magic is not manifestation and vice versa. So manifestation is using our God-given free will in tune with the universe to acquire or change circumstances in our life to fulfill anything that we may need or desire. Whereas magic is manipulating energies of somebody or something for personal gain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So manifestation attracts things to you.
Correct.
And magic controls things, people, your environment.
Manipulation.
To your own will to gain power.
So if someone told you that manifestation is magic, tell them hooey.
Tell them the difference between magic and manifestation.
Yeah, and we're going to say it one more time just in case. So manifesting is not magic. It is using our God-given free will in tune with the universe to acquire or change circumstances in our life to fulfill that what we need or desire. And magic seeks to control other people and the circumstances around them to acquire power over them. You're not acquiring power over anybody. And if you're trying to do that through manifestation, don't listen to our channel because you're not a good person.
Well, you can have control over them if you use magic, but it's dark.
Yeah, and we don't like you, so.
No, we still like you.
No, Emily likes you. I don't like you.
That's because Liv has a very big separation between good and evil, and there is no separation.
I like to shoot rainbows out of my butt.
Because separation is an illusion. We learned that in our chakra podcast.
And I'm still working with it.
Still doesn't understand the difference.
I understand it, I just don't accept it.
Well, yeah.
Which is fine. People don't have to accept what I do. I don't have to accept your separation. I'm going to be the one person that goes through this life with a sword of rainbows and is like, you're being mean, I'm going to fix it. And then Emily's going to be behind me going, no, this is what you're supposed to do. You've been put here to make someone else feel bad because they have to raise their consciousness and reduce their karma. And be like, I'm here to reduce your karma with this here magic rainbow sword. Pew, pew, pew.
It's just really funny that you're a medium and you see there's no separation and you live the fact that there's no separation, but you very much believe in separation.
It's because I'm a Leo and everybody has to be nice. And if you're not being nice, then I'm going to mama bear you and make you nice. So we should do a quick backstory on how manifestation came to be, or at least the idea did, because as it's defined in the Oxford Dictionary, it's an abstract thought or theory. And this abstract thought or theory didn't become popular in the United States until the mid-19th century during a movement called the New Thought movement. And unsurprisingly, the idea of manifestation did not come from the West. And if you don't know what the West is, that is the United States. It came from previous ideas in religions such as Hinduism and also the Catholic Bible, Christian Bible, whatever religion the Bible is under.
Yeah,
right?
Manifestation comes through a lot of ways.
Yeah. So in Indian ideas, you can, what is it? The Buddha? Buddha has been saying that you are what you think.
Your thoughts are you, aren't they?
Yes.
Thoughts make us who we are.
Yeah. So the Buddha said that. And then in the Bible, for Mark 11:24, it's quoted, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours." So those are two examples of manifestation ideas in different religious views, I guess, sayings, teachings.
Yeah.
So there's a guy who is a part of the New Thought movement, which is where manifestation came about, or the idea of the law of attraction. And his name is Thomas Troward. But he's described as a mystic Christian.
Mystic Christian.
Well, we defined what magic is at the beginning of this solely because when I was doing research for this, they were saying that Christians and like Catholic people are like, manifestation isn't real because it's magic and it's witchcraft. So I think that it's interesting that during a very, very religious America, a movement of manifestation and new thought ideas was happening, and the way people were going to get around it religiously was saying that there were mystic Christians.
Oh, all I want to do is talk about how Catholicism is literally witchcraft, but everybody thinks witchcraft is Satanism. Like, Catholicism has so many things that are, like, witchy, like, they have an altar, and they do rituals. So why wouldn't manifestation come up? Like, they do manifestation through prayers.
Yeah, and we just quoted manifestation as prayers in Mark 11:24.
Yeah.
But I just think it's interesting that they were like, no. He's not a magician. He's not magic. He's not using
mystic
witchcraft. He's a mystic Christian.
My God, that's just that. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you want to get around it, get around it. Everyone's going to find a way to do it. But I just thought,
literally what a Catholic is.
Can we rename our podcast as a mystic Christian? Do you think we'll get more views on
we'll
Apple
get
Podcasts?
So much hate. We're already going to get so much hate because we're talking about people's religions and how witchcraft is a part of it.
Okay, and it's funny because the other day, what was it? Did Lent end or something?
Oh, yeah, that's not happened yet.
Lent hasn't ended?
Lent happens around Easter.
What was the New Year? I think it has something to do with the New Year. And my one coworker is, I think her kids go to school like you did, so like what, Catholic school?
Okay.
And she was saying how she didn't have any chalk in her office or at her home, and it made her sad because at the beginning of the New Year, you're supposed to put some sort of sign written in chalk over doorways to help bring Jesus into your house.
I did not do that. That's not Catholicism.
Well, that's a ritual, though.
But yeah.
And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm sorry I don't have any chalk for you.
They literally take bread and wine, they put it on an altar, and then they do a ritual that has to be done in a specific way by someone of authority, and they turn it into the body and blood of a human being, and we eat it.
Which is cannibalism.
Well, how is that not a ritual?
Why? I'm agreeing with you, but it's also cannibalism. It's ritualistic cannibalism.
But it's also, okay, they do this to you when you're in second grade, and you're like, why are we eating humans? And they're like, well, it's not actually, it's like symbolic. And I was like, okay.
I don't want to symbolically eat humans.
Yeah,
When I was in second grade. Symbolically eat pizza.
When I was in second grade, that's when I started questioning things, and I was like, why are we eating Jesus Christ? I thought we liked him.
Poor little Emily. So, whether you want to believe in manifestation or if you currently believe that it's witchcraft, maybe you could just tell whoever tells you that it's witchcraft that you're a mystical Christian and get on with things.
Well, Catholicism has derived a lot of pagan rituals and things like that.
You can't say that. They don't believe that.
But, like, if you study theology and Latin, it's literally they derive all those rituals from paganism.
Yeah. Christmas is not actually Jesus' birthday.
It's a pagan tradition.
It's a pagan holiday. And I guess in Christianity, you're not supposed to celebrate birthdays either, but we do.
Well, yeah, birthdays, candles, and we blow the candles out. That's a pagan ritual.
Yeah. Anyways, God, we're really trying to keep on manifestation, and this is probably the third time I've said this, so whatever.
There's just so many other topics we want to talk about, because manifestation is what it is.
Yeah.
You put your intention out into the universe, and it returns back to you if you're a good person, and your intentions are good. If you have bad intentions, you're going to attract bad things. How manifestation works.
Mm-hmm. So, the New Thought movement swept the nation in America. It was the coolest thing ever. And if you didn't know, the idea of spiritualism also took off in the 19th century in America. And these ideas were brought over from foreign people. And the first lady that is foreign, she's Russian. Her name is Madame Helena Blavatsky. And she was a spiritualist and author, and she wrote a book called The Secret Doctrine. And it basically coined the term the law of attraction. And the law of attraction that she said was everything that you put into the universe will come to you based on however you see it. So if you want love, if you put love into the universe, love will come back to you. That was the idea. And the first person in America to talk about manifestation was Phineas Quimby. He was somebody that was diagnosed with tuberculosis at a very young age, and he was able to overcome the disease, which back then was incurable, by riding horses. And he said that by taking his body physically out of the mindset of thinking that he was sick is what cured him of his tuberculosis. He was like, if I don't feel sick while I'm riding horses, then I can't be sick. And that's how they think he was able to cure himself, was mind over body. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're sick and dying in the hospital, it's better for patients to have hope and believe that they're going to get better, because they are manifesting that energy into the universe, and it will help them recover.
Yep. So when I was doing this research for manifestation, because I know what it is. My mom was all about The Secret when I was like 7.
Oh gosh.
She made us like watch a movie, and I remember it was really weird, and I didn't pay attention to it because it was really weird.
Well, is that where you told me about Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
Because that's a cooler story.
Okay, let's talk about that. Quote, please correct us if we're wrong, but my mom went through the whole secret thing, and that is like what took New Thought idea manifestation and then condensed it into like a 2006 movie and book. Again, capitalism and like condensing things down to make it more palatable for people to understand.
Westernization.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad, but my mom told me that when she was reading The Secret book, it mentioned that Abraham Lincoln used the idea of manifestation to become president of the United States, which makes sense because early 19th century, that would like 1800s, 1830s, 1850s.
Right, because I'm not sure. I'm very bad at the history things, but wasn't it that people didn't necessarily think he was like beautiful or whatever?
Beautiful?
I don't know. He wasn't like a very popular guy.
Well, yeah, because he like grew up in
like it's astronomical that he became president type deal.
Yeah, like he failed school a lot and he failed law exams a lot, and like it really was hard for him to become a lawyer. And
dear God, and he was the president.
Oh yeah, he failed multiple times, which is interesting that he became one of the most well-loved, maybe well-renowned. Well-renowned
he just
is probably better.
Well-known because he's the second president? I don't know.
Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president.
16th president?
Yeah. So my mother said when she was reading The Secret book, so I think this is from The Secret, was that Abraham Lincoln used manifestation and the ideas of law of attraction to become the president of the United States. And I think that's wild. Maybe he was a mystic Christian too.
Doubtful.
So yeah, Abraham Lincoln failed a lot. He was a farm boy, and then he went to school. He didn't do very well in school, and he didn't do very well doing anything, but he really used manifestation, I guess, to become a great president.
So how did he use manifestation? Or do you not know?
I'm not entirely sure. I want to say he probably journaled about it, which is one of the things that we're going to talk about at the end of this podcast on how you can use different ways of manifestation to bring it to you, bring things to you.
We got to get into that. So manifestation is when you put your energy or your vibration into the world, and that energy attracts the same energy. So atoms and everything in the world, like all the substances in the world, they
vibrate at a certain frequency.
They have a certain frequency. So solids vibrate at a high frequency so that when things bump into them, they're solid.
Yes.
Whereas gases are farther apart and they have a larger frequency.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Okay, so when we talk about things, I think that things vibrate at a higher frequency. And
things being spirits. No one knows what things are.
Okay, when I'm saying things, I'm saying like demons or like tricksters. And I'm not going to say
things that aren't human spirits.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the D word again because that's not cool. I like to call them entities or tricksters, or like Emily in one of the, what we talked about in the past episode. We've talked in our, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to our YouTube channel. She had some sort of entity that was poltergeisty and it was trying to like tap in her cabinets. Those are the things I'm talking about, poltergeisty things. So Emily thinks that things that are bad vibrate. What? Why are you pointing at things?
Get closer to this.
You're scaring me. I'm like, why is there something to my left?
You're like doing this, and I'm like, the microphone is right here.
Sorry. Okay, so things I think vibrate at a higher frequency because when I perceive things, dark things that are around people or objects, I get a very like zzz, like very like scuttery frequency feeling. But when I have ghosts come in that are human spirits or spirit guides, I get a very calming frequency. So what Emily was saying with solid objects, because I still feel like they vibrate at a higher frequency, and she doesn't think so. She thinks that everything vibrates at a lower frequency.
A lower vibrational frequency because they are trying to get frequency from a higher vibrational entity like us. So they try to scare the energy out of us because obviously we're not going to give them the energy in a willing way. So they scare it out of us so they can become higher vibrational.
But and the thing that I was researching too said that if you are vibrating at a negative frequency, so like you're having a bad day, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're sad, those emotions are manifested in low vibrational frequencies. So if you are existing at a low vibrational emotional frequency or physical frequency, then those are the things that are going to be attracted to you by the law of attraction. More negative, angry, sad things are going to be attracted to you. Whereas if you raise your vibrations and you have happy and love and are just excited about things physically and emotionally, then things that are at that same frequency will be attracted to you. But Emily was just talking about solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and she's correct that liquids vibrate at a lower frequency because they're liquids. Things need to be able to pass through them. And solids are at a higher vibrational frequency, which is what gives them their solidness. But then you have gases. And gases are unstable because they vibrate at the highest frequency, maybe aside from plasmas. But they're unstable. They need things to bump into them or give them energy to either bring them to a lower state or a higher state, which is why they're volatile, except for like helium.
Yeah, so they're like gases.
Yes, but it's the highest vibrational frequency, and they're the most unstable, and they need some sort of external or outside energy in order to exist at a separate frequency or become something more or less. So I'm thinking that entities vibrate at a higher vibrational frequency because they are unstable, which is why they need your energy to either become greater or they will go away. Like gases. Boom! That's what I was trying to talk about when I was writing this. I can't believe I remembered it. This was like 2 weeks ago.
So do gases vibrate at a higher frequency?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. If you look up a molecular structure of a solid, liquid, and gas, and it will show you how far apart and spread out gas molecules are, like when you're talking about liquids and solids. but their vibrational frequency is the highest of the 3 states, besides plasma, which is something different. We're not going to talk about that. Because unless you're a science nerd or an astrophysicist, you don't talk about plasma.
Okay, can I ask you questions that
Please ask me questions.
you won't want me to ask you?
If you say the D word.
Well, what do they look like?
What do you mean?
What do things look like?
They all look different. They're like spirit guides because they're not on the same plane of existence as
Like,
humans.
are they transparent? Like, can you see through them? Or are there some that are, like, more solid than others? Because the idea that I'm getting at is if they have more energy, they would be more solid looking, right?
Like the thing that was in your cabinets, I get like a little ball of like electricity type thing.
Mm-hmm. But is it, like, transparent?
No.
Or is it solid?
I think it's solid. I don't think it would be an apparition.
Mm.
But that's also like spirit guides. Spirit guides I see as solid figures. They're, except for yours is a cloud. But that's something different.
Mine's a cloud. Can you see through my spirit guide?
No.
No? You
No.
can't see through a cloud?
No, because he's very dense. He's a blanket. Sometimes you can't see clouds unless you go through them.
Well, yeah.
So did I just blow your mind?
I don't know. I still need to know how gas works because I don't understand.
Look up molecular structure of gas.
Because, like, what I'm thinking of is their vibration is longer, so it would be slower.
No, it doesn't have any... Frequency and distance are not the same thing. Because, what is it? If I have a jar full of air, not Pirates of the Caribbean, I have a jar full of dirt. If I have a jar full of air, the different molecular things that make up the air in the jar are going to be bouncing around. And you can't see that because it's air. But if I change an external energy factor, such as, let's say, in the air, there are hydrogen molecules and there are oxygen molecules. If I change the temperature of the air, and heat is also energy, if I change the temperature of the air surrounding the jar, what can happen is if I make it colder, then the hydrogen and oxygen atoms within that jar are going to condense and make water. Yep. But if I heat up that jar, the top of it is probably going to pop a little bit because the hydrogen and oxygen atoms in it are being influenced by the heat, and it's going to increase the frequency of the molecules within the jar. So it's going to create pressure, like outwardly pushing on the jar.
I don't know how to look this up.
Okay, you know, like green beans, when you have like canned goods, and they say make sure that the top isn't popped, because if the top is popped, then it means that it's either bad or someone opened it.
Okay.
Imagine that someone didn't open it and it just was bad. That means that some sort of external or internal factor.
Putting more gas in there.
Correct. So it's acting on the molecules to change them. So
I don't know how that works at frequencies.
When you have a thing in your house that is maybe vibrating at a higher frequency, they're unstable, which is why I get the zzz, like jittery type thing.
I got that much.
Well, if you give them energy, then that can make them more stable.
So what if they're vibrating at a lower frequency, but they just don't have a steady flow? It's like when you start a hose and it goes right before it goes to a steady stream.
But that would be thinking that it is coming from the little tiny bursts you have to think are separate from this stream.
What?
If you have a little tiny entity that's buzzing around, like the thing in your cabinets, it hasn't gained enough energy to become something more scary. That's why it's fishing for energy with this low type of tappy things that it was doing to try and get your attention. But since you ignored it, it figured out it couldn't get more energy out of you, so it left to go find it somewhere else, or it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how that disproved what I said.
What did you ask?
It's like a hose. When you start a hose, it goes so it goes faster than slow and faster than slow.
But if you stop the water,
an entity is.
Yes, because if you
it's
stop
getting it from something, but if it doesn't get that energy, it can't become more stable.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean it's higher vibrational.
But you have to think about it as a quantity too, because you're thinking about energy. So if you have energy here, and we were so confident in our last podcast talking about how we were going to take the things that no one can understand because they're not physical and make them sound physical, and we're not doing very good right now.
It's because I'm a Virgo and you're not giving me solid proof that this has a higher frequency.
Newsflash, this is metaphysical. There's never solid proof.
Well, nothing is proven.
Well, it's gas. All of this is gas. But if someone were to bring electricity in here, depending on the molecules that are making up the air, it's going to change what's there.
It's unstable and it gets its energy from other things.
Yes.
It doesn't mean it's higher vibrational, though.
But, okay, it's like it's like when you're trying to make molecules into matter. You have the building blocks of matter. So you have atoms, and then you have molecules, and then you have matter. So atoms are single types of little things. And if you put energy into those things, they can make molecules. Make sense? And if those molecules find other things that are close to them, law of attraction, that go with them, then they'll make matter. So it's the building blocks of things. What I'm saying is that tiny entities are the unstable atoms that are trying to make themselves into scarier, poltergeisty things. And if they don't have that energy to make them into molecules, to then make them into matter, then they can't do anything and they fizzle out.
It still doesn't prove that they're higher vibrational.
Okay, I want to tell you that entities... I don't like this because they know they're laughing.
What? They're laughing at you?
So, because we're also right by a fireplace.
I'm trying.
Okay, envision the house in white light, all of the creatures and everything too. Entities have higher vibrations because they're trying to get energy from things to make themselves into things. But once they reach to the state of demons, demons have solidified their energy. They have what they need. So I'm telling you that when bad things come in, it is the same feeling of spirit guides, that solid foundational energy.
I think that's a higher vibrational creature.
But you know that it's bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think the little tiny things that are skittering around don't have that energy. And unless you put energy into them, then they can't do more things. But the things that are higher than that have that solid vibrational low frequency.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you before, if they're more solid or whatnot.
Once they reach that state, I guess
because
is what I'm trying to say.
They're less unstable. I still think they're getting energy from somewhere. And if you don't give them energy, they'll slowly lose it, but they're less likely to because they have more of it.
But you also have to think about, like, history-wise, too. There's a lot of overlap and bad things, and no matter what religion you believe in, there's still fear ingrained in the people that keep teaching these religions to give these things more power.
My brain's, like, exploding right now. Because I know a lot more than you do, but I don't know that you want me to tell you about it.
Yeah, probably not, because I already have something standing over there, and I'm trying to ignore it.
Mm-hmm. I know. I can see it.
It's called fear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Trying not to be
There's
afraid.
so many things that can go with that, but I can't tell you.
Yeah, we can do it a different day when it's, like, sunny and we're outside.
Okay.
But I guess my point is that small little things have tiny vibrational frequencies. But the more times you put energy into them, they're going to become solid. And once they become solid, that is the things that you have to worry about that are scary. The things that I'm trying to ignore right now. But I have a pretty good block and a pretty good wall, and you have a lot of energy, sunshine coming out of you, and we also have our guides right here.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see me changing it, though?
Yeah, because
Was
you're
it
putting
different?
off more energy. I can feel the
'cause that's-
increase of energy.
That's one of the things I want to make a TikTok about, is if my energy changes when I put a blanket around myself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry. Yeah, we can do stuff about that too, but I mean, we're just talking in a circle now, but like that's what I'm saying is gases are more unstable, but what I'm saying is in the dark energy world, those real scary things that you have to worry about are the solids, but the little tiny entities that are at the higher vibrational frequencies.
Yeah, the scary things,
the
I don't
gases.
understand those.
Yeah, those
but
are
like those scuttery things that you see everywhere, low vibrational things that are trying to suck energy from other things. Look on your face.
It's because I kind of want to go upstairs.
I know what's happening in your head because you're reading.
I know, and I'm trying not to. You know how we were listening to that TikTok, and that guy was like, I sat down in my friend's house, and I started having really bad thoughts and feelings and things like that. And why does anything need to happen? I should just kill myself, blah, blah, blah. And then his spirit guide whispered in his ear and said, it's not you, it's someone in the room. Someone like that is in the room right now, and I want to start crying. That's why we don't talk about bad things.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm like, and I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to say, if you don't own anything, I am consciously putting white light around you, me, Jellybean, the cats, and the boys upstairs. And he's literally going, it doesn't matter. I'm more powerful than that.
Because he's trying to control your emotion.
I know, to get fear out of me, because that is what makes things stronger.
That's why faith is the strongest energy, because you can't convince someone out of their faith. But you don't have faith, or do you have faith?
I do. It's just more, he's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, my faith comes from, I literally feel like my spirit guide's around me, and I think that my spirit guide will stop it. So I have full faith that it will stop. Like, it's trying to touch me, and I'm like, no, you can stop that. You want to talk about manifestation now?
Yeah, let's talk about manifestation and say, I don't need your shit. You mean nothing. That right now is called physical affirmation. Raising my frequency higher by saying things out loud. God, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Mm-hmm. So we have nothing about fucking manifestation in this goddamn podcast.
It's because we can't talk about nothing. So emotions are a frequency that we also put off. So we put off that frequency of we're solids and we have liquids, but we also put off a energy out of like our consciousness. So our emotions are frequencies. And what's interesting is we've figured out that solely comes from your heart. So your heart essentially is beating, and it beats the energy out of you.
Yeah, electrical impulses. And I think it's interesting that what I was looking at said that emotions are what transfer vibrations into the universe to attract what you want. As a scientist person, I want to put little brainwave trackers on people's heads and be like, don't tell me, but envision something that you want to manifest. And I'll give them a category like love, money, a material good, or just like happiness maybe, like they're depressed and they want to be happy. And I want to see what type of frequency of brainwaves come out depending on what it is. But then how do you measure the frequency of physical things that come into them?
What do you mean they come into them?
Like if they put these frequencies out and we're able to measure them.
What we're receiving?
Yes. How do you measure what you're receiving's frequency? That's the thing that I don't understand.
Well, it'd be hard to do that because everything has a frequency.
Yes.
So what would be the thing that is attracted to your frequency if you're surrounded by other frequencies?
So scientifically, I think it'd be cool to put little brainwave meters on people's heads and see what type of emotions elicit what type of brain frequencies, and then measure them and see if you can have like a standardization of them. But I think it'd be harder to measure physical things because that is subjective, not objective. So this table might mean a lot of things to you, but it's also just a table to me.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something that you can't
actual
measure.
Magnets that are like stuck together.
Yeah, interesting. Also, I want to know if we have like a congregation of frequencies, since people are made up of other things. Like we have our physical frequencies that you could be emitting while you're doing physical activity or words of affirmation, but on a literal level, what kind of frequencies do we emit besides EKGs?
Is that why we have different colored auras?
Did you just break the third wall?
I'm a Virgo. You gave me disorganized thoughts and I organized them for you.
Thank you. Maybe.
That's why we emit colors. Like, does this have an aura?
Not really.
Does it have a one color aura?
Okay, well, this table you inherited from people. Who did you get this table from?
The geysers.
Okay.
So it has their energy on it?
Yes. It has their familial energy.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Like if you get something...
But we emit all of those energies at once where this absorbs it.
Yes. And then re-fires in the back at you if you look at it.
So the things that absorb energy, are those the things that are being attracted to our energy because we're emitting energy?
Ooh, breaking walls again.
Virgo. My brain's like, oh my God, there's so many connections. I got beep, 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 beep.
So like if you're looking for love and you're like manifesting somebody to come into your life, is that person also manifesting the idea of love? And that is why you guys are attracted to each other?
I think there's a lot that goes into love.
Yeah, it's
I think that
not sugar and spice and everything nice. It's a lot of
It's not
things.
black and white.
Nothing in this podcast is black and white.
But everybody thinks everything is black and white. The separation. It's an illusion.
Well, we could talk about...
Another t-shirt.
Separation is an illusion.
Separation is an illusion.
We could talk about Brad and I.
Yeah.
Because Brad and I, the first time I met him...
Because you attract each other because you're what each other need.
But it's interesting because we met and were acquaintances because of a mutual friend. The first time I met him, he doesn't know this and he doesn't feel it either because he doesn't believe in the stuff that I do. He just accepts me for who I am, which is all I can ask for. But the first time I saw him, he came down the hill at our friend's house because I was hanging out with our mutual friend Jake. And as soon as I looked at him, I saw a gold light around him. And I had a complete and total, probably 3 to 5 seconds of utter calmness. Like my soul looked at his soul and was like, I found you. And I know that sounds really dumb, but I was also listening to a spiritual TikTok that you sent me maybe. And it was, in Western society, we think that when we meet new people that are supposed to be good for us, we have butterflies in our stomach.
Oh.
But really, why should you have unsettled feelings in your stomach if the person that you're meeting is supposed to be good for you?
Yeah, butterflies is fear. Why would you be afraid of the person you need in your life?
Exactly. And the first emotion before Brad even ever talked to me was complete and utter golden light and like warm happiness. Like the feeling that your cloud gives you.
You're supposed to feel safe, secure, and protected.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I want to say he dated 1 or 2 girls in the time that we knew each other. And I dated 1 or 2 boys, but we never actually talked to each other. Even though the first time I met him, I was enamored by him without him even saying anything. And now, all of a sudden, I think it was probably like 3 or 4 or 5 years later, all of high school and almost a year of college, we started dating. So what does that have to do with love?
You mean manifestation?
Yeah, manifesting love.
You manifested something you need in your life. And you needed to date those other people to realize what you need. It's like buying a house. You don't know what you need in a house until you actually live in a house.
That's so weird. Because I literally just put him out of my mind. I was like, I'm never going to be with him because we're so different. Like, I thought he was popular, and I thought he, like, was on the football team.
Because he oozes that wall. That's literally his wall. His wall is, I'm this big macho guy. And then once you see behind the wall, there's no other, like, tricks. That's just that wall.
The wall that quotes like, every movie known to man.
I got this giant wall, and then once you get behind the wall, there's like 17 different decoys of me, and there's like monsters, and you'll have no idea who the right me is. But Brad just has one wall. Once you get past the wall, that's who Brad is.
But then is that manifestation? Like, did I manifest him without knowing it?
Yes.
Because it's something that I truly and honestly needed.
It's what you needed.
Yes.
It's like, it's what I needed in Jared.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have Jared, honestly, I'd probably be dead. But that's a different story.
That's interesting. So, and tying this in a little bit, the ideas of manifestation and the law of attraction and mind over body and all of this other stuff that commingles together in the same kind of general idea was not originally in Western thought. And it came from the ideas of Hinduism, Buddhism, and a little bit of the Bible, which was in America, but we're not talking about that. And if you listen to our last podcast, our second podcast, sorry, we're a couple podcasts forward. If you listen to our second podcast, Chakra Beliefs, we talk about the Anahata chakra, which is the heart chakra.
Yes.
And it's said that if you open up your heart chakra, and we talk about in the video, one of the things that you can gain from opening up your heart chakra is something called Sankalpa Shakti, and it's the power to fulfill desires when you wish for a desire to be fulfilled. You concentrate on it in your heart, and the more pure your Anahata chakra, the more swiftly your desire will come true. So can you do that subconsciously?
Yes.
I love that. Like, if you truly, honestly need something and you don't even think that you need it, the energy around you, I think, manifests it. So then does this go into like what Arthur Richards said, who was a mid to late 20th century manifestation aficionado? Arthur Richard Weiss is known for connecting the law of attraction with what he calls the principle of non-resistance. So it says, according to this principle, it's like the opposite of the law of attraction. It says, according to this principle, we attract things when we actively put energy into trying to resist them.
So it's like if you're in a raffle or whatever, and you're like, I'm just going to think that I'm not going to win, and then I'll win. Like that reverse psychology type deal.
Yeah. So it takes the idea of manifestation and then reverses it. So manifestation is you put what you want into the universe through thoughts, emotions, and actions, and then it comes back to you because it's attracted to you. But I think what he's trying to get here, this Arthur Richard Weiss guy, is like what you put into the universe that you don't want is attracted to you.
It might have to do with like greed and stuff like that. You're putting out better energy when you think that you're not going to get things. Make sense?
But what I think he's really saying and what he's trying to touch on is, and whether he realized it or not, maybe he was doing it in kind of a snarky, like,
or you like
capitalist
don't know what you
commercial way.
need and the universe will show you.
Yes.
Got you.
Because when I started dating Brad, I had been through some terrible things. What I thought I wanted was to be wishy-washy and just kind of hang out with some guys and not really like get into a serious relationship, because as you all know, I'm a Leo and I really love hard. So when my heart gets broken, it's really hard for me to come back to it. Like, I really put my all into the people that I'm around. And when that doesn't work out, it really hurts me. And I had a situation that really hurt me. Not because I put my all into it, but that's not the point. So after what happened to me and it hurt me, I put into thinking that I just don't want to ever get hurt again. So I'm going to be completely in control of everything and not actually like get into a serious relationship, because that's dumb. But what I actually needed was a serious relationship where someone could help me. And that was Brad. And I think that's the law of non-resistance. We attract the things that we actively put energy into trying to resist. And I literally resisted wanting to be in an actual relationship with Brad.
Got you. So that's more of, I don't know, how you put love out, if that makes sense.
No, go into it more.
I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Basically, how manifestation works is you want to put out the most purest form of energy. So that would be your most purest form of energy is what you needed.
But I didn't know that I needed. I thought what I was putting into the universe.
Obviously.
I thought what I was putting into the universe was what I wanted, but I guess that's not what it was.
That wasn't through love. That was through
anger and hurt.
Yes. So what your like heart chakra was putting out is, I need this in order for your deepest whatever love desire to come full circle. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes me so happy. It's so weird.
And it's just your ego covered it up. That's why you weren't aware of it, because you were like, well, that makes me vulnerable and uncomfortable, so I'm going to cover it up with anger and the opposite of love. That's what love is. Anger is love. It's just in a different form.
Interesting. So now that we've talked about manifestation and law of attraction and now just completely reversed it on you, you've probably been like, this is not what I wanted. I didn't want any thought-provoking things. I just wanted you to tell me how to make money.
Want you how to get my goals and be all greedy, but that's not how manifestation works, because it deals with love. You have to put out purest love you can in order to reach your goals. Like for our podcast, we each want to put out into the universe helping other people. So we think that that's how we're going to manifest our business to then create money for ourselves so that we can help other people.
Money is just a byproduct of it.
Yeah, money is just the way of getting our love out, essentially. Getting what our purpose is out. Yeah. It's a good result, but that's not the overall goal. The overall goal is to help people.
Yeah. So again, Anahata chakra, heart chakra. I think the chakra really goes into that reverse idea, that non-resistance. Because I feel like chakras are, like we said, the Maslow's hierarchy of basic needs. Your chakra needs need to be fulfilled, and if they're not, it's going to happen somehow.
What do you mean? Opening your chakras? Or?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of
I went through a spiritual awakening, and my spirit guides are like, that's how this one opened, and this is how this one opened, and you weren't even aware of it, and you did it in order. Look at that. Aren't you great? And I was like, I hate you. Stop doing that.
But it's like exactly when you think that you don't need something or something isn't going to happen to you is when it does happen, because it's what you needed.
Well, yeah.
It's wild to me.
It's like I'm in a relationship with Jared because he pulls the trauma out of me, and then I can process it and then get over it, because he has similar whatever to my trauma. So he takes it and it's not a big deal. He doesn't react to it, so it just goes away.
Makes sense.
That's what I needed, so that's what I have.
It's all about what you need. I think we touched about this in the YouTube video. Don't be greedy when you're trying to manifest things, because that's not what you need.
That's not putting love out into the universe, so you will get negative, greedy things back.
Correct. And you don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you do, if that's your thing. But okay, so we've talked about manifestation, where it came from. Went on multiple tangents, so many tangents.
So sorry.
Yeah, this podcast is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure you'll be able to cut it anymore. So we'll see how. I'll let you decide if you want to keep it all in.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
It's going to be hard to cut. You might just want to leave it in.
We'll see what
Future
happens.
editing Olivia self.
Okay, so for manifestation, putting energy into the universe, trying to get it back to you, or the opposite, which was non-resistance. You think that you're doing it, but you're really not. And it all goes into your Anahata chakra. How pure is your desire, your heart?
Yeah.
So there are physical ways to manifest things because as humans, it's hard for us to conceptualize things if they're not physically in front of us. And then there are mental ways to manifest things if you are much more cool, I guess.
Well, it's still doing it in a physical way.
Yes. Well,
Like
kind of.
what you're talking about is like things that aren't physical is where you put your vulnerability into the world, like how your love is with Brad. That would be non-physical. But when you're actively trying to do it, like if you're journaling or whatever, that's physical.
I mean, I just tell him that he's pretty all the time.
Well, no, basically the tools to manifest are physical ways for us to get the spiritual thing.
Yeah.
So, like, all the things we're going to tell you are physical ways to lead you to manifest.
Unless you're meditating. I mean, it's still physical, but that's just because you're in a body.
You're leading yourself through certain things, whereas when you manifested love with Bradley, obviously that wasn't you're physically doing it. You were subconsciously doing it. Your consciousness was doing it. Something that's not physical. That's why you don't understand it.
And I had to get over my ego. A lot of ego. All right, so what we did, and you can also watch in our YouTube video for manifestation, is...
First off, we are doing a manifestation challenge. It's going to be 1 month long. Are we still doing that?
Yes, I have the ideas. We just have to write them down.
So we are doing a manifestation challenge. We are doing a manifestation challenge. It is going to be a month long. And each week we're going to give you a different method of manifesting your long-term goals. So Liv is going to explain each way of manifestation and how it works and all that. And if you guys want to sign up for our newsletter, you can be led through each one of the prompts and choose what the best... I can't say it!
Her mustache is in the way.
Sure. I'm trying to say all the words at the same time. And you can choose the best form of manifestation that works for you. So again, we will add that to the description of this podcast so that you will be able to sign up for our newsletter. If you can't find it, go to our website and sign up there.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the methods of manifestation. The first one that we did in our YouTube video, and if you want to watch it, tune in. It's pretty cute.
We make a vision board.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
Oh, it's so cute.
So a vision board is a collage of images and words representing a person's wishes or goals intended to serve as an inspiration or motivation. And it's created to help visualize and focus on one or more specific aspirations. So Em and I made a vision board about our business, how we want it to be hopefully in the next year from now, how it will be in the next year from now. That's another thing that you have to be very specific about is you have to pretend like you already are living what you want in the present. Everything that you want is presently happening.
You have to believe that it has already happened.
Yes. So for the vision board, we created steps on how we want to better our business or build our business. And then we put little tiny sentences on how we're going to create those things. Because a lot of what Western mainstream manifestation says is they water it down and they're just like, you have to believe it and it'll happen. You have to work through the scenarios in your head. Like when you go to bed and you think about that one time you said something 10 years ago and how you could change it, all of those different ways. That's how you have to think about your manifestation as well. Whether you're doing a vision board or you're journaling, which is the next thing we'll talk about, you have to imagine your goals as if they have already happened, but you also have to think about how you're going to reach your goals. You can't just put into the universe, I want to be a doctor, and then just think you're going to become a doctor. No, you have to sit down and go, well, I have to get into medical school. How am I going to get into medical school? And then write down the things that you have to do to get into medical school and vice versa for all of the different steps on how you're going to become a doctor. And you have to imagine going through those steps and what they will be like in a very systematic format. And even the things that could go wrong, you also have to think about as well through your manifestation. But when you envision the things going wrong, you also have the power to envision them going right. Meet them like you do with your chakras. You acknowledge that they are there and you say, well, I'm going to move past them. And you envision yourself getting over what obstacle you could possibly be faced with while getting to your aspiration.
So I always thought that when people say manifestation and how things come to you, I always thought that that was just them saying that you needed to go through the steps. But where manifestation comes in is you go through the steps and you manifest that these things are going to happen to you. You're just manifesting them working out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that really trips up people is when they run into something that physically happens that could inhibit them from getting what they want, they just give up manifesting.
Well, it's still manifestation because that's what you needed to get to point B.
Yeah, but sometimes people get stuck before they get to point B, and then they
that's what
just
I'm
give
saying.
up. That's why
It's like-
vision boards are good, because it's a physical reminder to say every morning, I'm going to look at this vision board and see where I am. And you can kind of like gauge yourself, like a calendar almost, on how to get through it. But what happens with people that are fed normal mainstream manifestation stuff is they're like, well, I manifested it, but it didn't happen. It's like, no. You also have to envision things that could possibly happen. And when you envision those things happening and then they actually do happen or something similar happens, you go, okay, universe, you're giving me this hot plate of duty and it's smelling great, but I'm going to, tuck into it, eat the whole thing and say, that's delicious. May I please have some more? And then you're going to get past it.
My Virgo brain is connecting dots now. I'm thinking that these failures, if you're doing like a YouTube channel about a certain topic and you fail at it, but you're doing well in a completely different topic and you're pivoting, I'm thinking that you're still manifesting things, you're just doing it subconsciously.
Oh, you mean in a different direction?
Yeah, because usually when you fail, the best idea is to pivot to the direction that the failure is leading you.
Abraham Lincoln didn't pivot. He was served many plates of hot poop soup, and he ate every single one of them and said, delicious, universe. May I please have another? Because at the end of this, I know I'm going to become the president, which is going to be a delicious sweet treat.
Give me an example. I will tell you that he
failed
pivoted.
School. He went back to school.
Okay, then what
he
did
failed school again. Then he went back to school and finally made it. Then he wanted to become a lawyer.
He pivoted 3 times.
But he still went back to school. Pivoting, I think, would be not going back to school. Pivoting would be going, okay, I'm going to become a tradesman.
But he had to change something in order to achieve that goal.
What did he change?
I don't know. I'm not Abraham Lincoln.
But he still went back to school.
He failed twice, so something was telling him that he was manifesting something else.
I mean, it was still school, though.
He had to have changed something in order to finish school.
Probably something small, but he still... I'm thinking of, like, big, though.
When you fail, you pivot.
Some people
That's how
just...
business works.
Yeah, but some people fail at school and they just don't go back to school.
That's not pivoting. Or they're pivoting to what they should be doing in the first place.
Maybe. I mean, I see what you're saying. You're looking at it as the universe is telling you this is not what you should be doing. You should be doing something else. I don't even think
it's the universe. I think it's like your energy, which is the universe, and separation doesn't exist.
Exactly.
But
check yourself.
I think you are subconsciously leading yourself down with manifestation. So if you're down on yourself, that's where you're going to go. Even if you believe you're going to be successful.
I don't know.
I've swerved off of the tracks for you.
Yeah, and I'm really hard about even staying on tracks or building tracks, so it's never going to come back.
I'm going to put some perpendicular tracks on there so you can pivot.
And we can make a giant crash.
We're going to put that train on a 90-degree angle in the other direction.
Can I be on the caboose?
No, we're going to break that part off.
No.
You can go somewhere else. You have to continue to go straight because you can't pivot.
Remember when I told you when we first started doing this podcast that we're just 2 girls on a train track with one of those, like, on the old-timey things where they're just on a board and they're cranking it back and forth? That's us on this whole entire thing.
Always.
Okay, so we talked about vision boards. They help you stay on track. They help you do little lines. If you want to see our vision board, it's a really cute example. I really like it.
It's on our YouTube channel. Check it out.
Yep, at Meta Psyckicks. And then you have journaling. If you really like journaling, I like to pretend that I could be a journalist, but I also have the attention span
Everyone
of a
can
goldfish.
journal.
Everyone can journal, but I can't because I get bored. That's why I also can't be an artist because I start doing something.
What, your Aries moon?
Yeah.
Fucking Aries.
So journaling, you do the same thing that you do with a vision board, only you're writing. And my opinion is I put that you should write down the things you want to accomplish and then the ways you might go about accomplishing these goals, taking time to visualize and imagine what it would look like to accomplish. But remember to ground yourself and envision the type of difficulties you may face one by one or collectively and the images and feelings of conquering those difficulties. Focus on the feelings you may have once you have what you want, and each day do this, writing about one paragraph at least, or more, in detail about your daily life, living with the goals as your reality. So whatever you want, write a short story as if you were living them, or writing someone else as if they were living with your goals. And then once you're done writing your story, act like you are reading it, but read your story and imagine yourself in it as if you were in a journal entry.
So, like, each day you would go through another chapter of the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, again, example, you want to be a doctor. Write about how the person in the story goes about applying to medical school, what schools they apply to. Be as detailed as you possibly can, because with manifestation, it's very important to be detailed. If you just put random energy into the universe, you're going to get random energy back.
Right.
Even if it's the same energy, it's not what you necessarily are trying to get.
It's like asking a genie for a wish.
Yes.
Gotta be oddly specific for it to go well.
Yeah, so write down in your journal, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to go about doing it. And then once you're done writing it, as if you're writing someone else's reality, read through it and imagine yourself as the main character of that story that you just wrote, as if it is your reality. I think
the main character.
Yeah, I really like the journaling idea. I think it's cute. It's very romantic.
Cute. Sounds fun.
Yes.
My artistic brain is exploding.
Yeah, it's adorable. I love writing stories. And then the other one is meditation. Meditation, you do the same thing, only you're not writing it in a journal. You're just sitting down and envisioning it in your mind. That would be better for me because I like to daydream a lot. So.
But you also said you're bad at meditating.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am.
Well, because when I
because you're in Aries and you get distracted.
Well, also when I get
and
distracted.
You're a medium.
But I'm also a medium.
And things talk to you because you're more open to them.
Yeah. So
it's like day sleeping.
It's day sleeping.
You're more open is what I'm saying. You're open when you're sleeping. You are more open when you're meditating.
Oh, yeah. That's why I try not to meditate, because weird things happen. But daydreaming is great, because very vivid daydreamer. I had a very good imagination as a child. So meditating, same thing as journaling and vision boarding, just in your little head movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking affirmations, super cool, really great. I just did that about 10 minutes ago, and I'm not going to bring up why. You can just listen to the episode because it's already bringing things back in.
Oh, cool.
So you want to talk about that cute little part of the movie? I don't know what movie it is, but the one where the lady is telling the little girl, like, you is kind, you is smart, you is everything that you need, or you is enough, something like that. I love those ones. I tell Bradley that all the time. I am his affirmations, his words of affirmation every day. I'm like, Bradley, do you know how cute you are? Do you know how handsome you are? Do you know how...
Love language, words of affirmation.
It's because my family never really did words of affirmation, and as a person, I'm going to do that to everybody.
Yeah, your love languages are weird.
Yeah.
Because your love language are things that you didn't have as a child.
Yeah.
Where mine were dictated by things that I had, or the only thing that I had, which is quality time.
Yeah.
My parents showed me love through quality time, and that's my entire family.
I just want to shoot rainbows and pink happiness on everybody, so...
Yeah, because you're a Leo and you just are a bleeding heart. Yeah.
Yeah, use that all the time. It's going to be
bleeding heart Leos. T-shirt. Write all these down.
I'll wear it all the time.
Future editing Olivia. Write all these things I'm writing for T-shirt ideas.
Calm down, you're peaking.
You'll be able to hear it and you're going to take it out, right?
That's another one, too. Calm down, you're peaking.
Calm down, you're peaking.
That's like ignore the wiggle when we were in ceramics. That was our mantra for that year.
We should just make that one, too.
Ignore the wiggle.
Ignore the peeking.
I was so annoyed when that lady cleaned it off the door. I wrote it so nicely.
I'm surprised that lady found the ceramic studio back there.
That is true. All right, last type of manifestation is physical activity. This is the way Bradley works. He loves to go to the gym and work through his problems. He literally was listening to a meme the other day. He was like, when we have emotions, what do? We get more muscles.
Oh, we get more muscles?
It's like, and what happens when we have more emotions? We get bigger muscles.
We get muscles on our muscles. We get muscles on our eyeballs. SpongeBob.
Anchor arms. Yeah. So if you want to go to the gym and do every push-up and breathe through your problems, be like, that time Becky with the S gave me sass. That's never going to happen again. And you just like do a push-up and you're like, yeah, Becky, never again.
You see this muscle? This was Becky's muscle. Thanks, Becky.
And then you're putting in happy energy into the universe because you're like, thanks, Becky.
Now I have an extra muscle on my eyeball.
And it's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Manifestation. We've been down here for too long.
We're very sorry. It's been, 2 hours?
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to edit this.
I think you should keep all of the weird things in.
I think I'm going to.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to.
I don't think you can make a bonus one, but I think it can all fit in. We just go on to tangents a lot, which I think is kind of how podcasts are, right? I don't listen to podcasts.
People are going to just really know what's happening now.
Yeah.
Maybe next time it'll be more mainstream and put together, but it's not. All right, so you guys should sign up for our email letter.
Yeah. We're going to make it so that you don't have to sign up today when we're putting out this podcast. Once you sign up, you will start getting the first email, and it will just automate all of the emails after that. So you'll get the entire process, like all of the prompts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can sign up whenever, and you will get all of the prompts to manifest your dreams to come true.
Yeah. So this is M&I's podcast, and you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all of the podcast streaming things, and YouTube as well, at Meta Psyckicks. And if you didn't know how to spell it, figure it out. No, I'm kidding.
It's like, if you don't know how to spell it, look at our freaking podcast name.
So yeah, find us on all of the social medias.
All of our social medias. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Every Sunday at 11:11.
Every Sunday, 11:11. That's when all our content comes out.
Yeah, you want to push the button?
Yeah, we're going to push the button now.
Okay,
bye.